Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah.
Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. Mama and Lizard are here with you today to talk about Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 4.
We also have a special guest, which is Molly here. She watched the episode with us, so she's here to also provide her commentary if needed.
She does have some good points at times.
So if you do hear her in the background, it's just her, commenting in.
So I think the first half of the episode was kind of boring. It opens with McKelty and Tony, and that she just had twins. And we know Avalon's feeling a little left out and jealous, so the grandmas are trying to help out. Robin, as we knew 3 years ago now, Robin slept in their closet to help out after McKelty's C-section. And Cody hopes that the babies will be a bridge to healing with the other kids.
And the thing is, though, it was really sweet actually because Christina was there, Christine. Oh, I don't want to say Christina. Janelle and
Because of Grey's Anatomy.
Probably. We're all there together and they're all talking. And, wait, was that Janelle there or was that like Tony's mom?
That was Tony's mom.
Okay, that was Tony's mom. Sorry, Janelle, you weren't there. So they're all taking care of the babies and they were just getting along. And like they were talking, like there was no issues. And I'm like, see, when you remove Cody from the situation, everything is fine.
That's a very good point.
And I do have some more like opinions on Robin due to things that happened at the end of the episode. Yeah, like
that's coming in a minute.
Yeah. And honestly, it just makes me want a kid. I every time I see babies now, I'm like, I want one. I just want one.
Well, you are getting to be about that age where your little bio clock is clicking and ticking.
I also want to point out how absolutely like what happened at Garrison's funeral, because we know now, like confirmed, that Tony and McKelty are no contact with Cody and Robin. They were actually informed on their Patreon by their fans that they had been moving. They hadn't known that before. And I'm like, you see them now all getting along with the grandkids and helping out and just what happened? So they had to have royally said something or did something there that, and
oh man, I just want to know because the curiosity is killing me. Like if somebody knows, I swear on my soul, on my children, on my life, I won't repeat a word. You'll never hear it on this show. You'll never hear a peep from me. But I need to know, what did she do? Or what did he do? I think it was Robin though, because they kind of figure, oh, it's just Cody. Cody's Cody. But with Robin, I think if she had done something, that's what would cause the break, maybe.
Though, honestly, though, I don't know if the clips at the end of the episode were actually taken at that time or they were added in. I don't even know. I can't use that as kind of useful for the funeral because I don't know what TLC meshed in there.
Exactly. They don't know about their editing things.
So I can't add that.
So after the first commercial, it's Thanksgiving and everyone's kind of separate. Cody doesn't like Mary around because he, quote, can't act like a married couple with her there. And I'm like, what? Okay, they've been together since, it's been at least 15 years, I would think, now. Maybe not quite that long.
I think
maybe like 13, 12 or 13. I'm not really sure, but either way, they've been married long enough now that you like. Okay, when we go to Grandpa's for Thanksgiving, we always go to my dad's house and my stepmom's house for Thanksgiving. That's when all the family comes together. And I would never like. I might give my husband a peck on the cheek or on the lips or hold his hand, or set my hand on his knee or something when we're sitting next to each other, but we don't like make out or grab each other's behinds or any kind of salacious, because number one, there's children.
Yeah.
Number two, it's around family, and that's not appropriate in my mind anyway. So I just don't understand what he means that they can't act like a married couple with her there.
I think I kind of get the psychology of what he's trying to discuss, because
Please explain it to me, because I don't get it.
he has denounced his faith. He doesn't believe it anymore. He thinks it's a big mistake. And Mary was the beginning of that mistake. So by not having her around, he can just say, "Oh, that I never felt that way. I never wanted it because I just want my wife now." But with Mary around, that he just gets reminded that he did love her, that he did want all that he did start all that, and it all revolved and began with him.
I don't know. I don't know if that's it, but I mean, that's a very good hypothesis. And Mary said she feels like a third wheel, so she had no intention of joining them since like April when she and he had their whole conversation. Um,
I don't know why they thought she would, though, because Mary made it pretty clear that she was uncomfortable, but being around them even at that time.
even when they were quote unquote married, she didn't like being around them because, again, she felt like a third wheel.
Okay, if your ex-husband said he never loved you, he doesn't want to be around you, he doesn't care if you even care if you get divorced or not, he doesn't consider your marriage even worth the time, would you go to the Thanksgiving that his new wife invited you to? No, you would not.
Okay, wait. That did happen to me.
Oh, are you serious? Who invited you?
No. No, my ex-husband did say that to me
Oh, right.
when we were getting divorced. 'Cause
Oh.
I divorced him.
Oh, but
Very unhappy about it. Now, if you guys were young at the time, if for some reason Betty Spaghetti had invited us all to Thanksgiving dinner at their home, and you guys really, really wanted it, I would have put on my big girl panties and my mom bra and my shut the fuck up hat, and I would have gone for you guys, and I would have played nice, and I would have sucked it up, because that's what you do.
I would also, though, as the only time our biological father, okay, we lived off of, I mentioned before, chocolate chip, Eggo waffles, and Sprite, and then on our way up to his house and back, he'd get us like fast food. So I honestly wouldn't trust him to make food. And I would be like, I'd rather stay at mom's for Thanksgiving, thank you.
Well, and also, you know that mom knows how to cook.
Right?
So then, Christine's kids, most of them anyway, that could be there, and Tony's family were at her house for Thanksgiving. Janelle, Peyton, and Hunter were together for Thanksgiving. And Janelle was actually very kind. And she said she hopes Mary spends Thanksgiving with someone because she deserves better than being the third wheel with Robin and Cody. And I'm just like, okay, why couldn't you have had this kindness when you all were married in the same family?
Because until they allow themselves to separate themselves from Cody and the polygamy marriage, you couldn't see that these were also just other wives, but not just a person you have to compete to get time with their husband.
And in my head, I know that. But I'm just like, ladies, you're all so badass and awesome in your own different ways. Like, I know that you're all very different, but at the same time, like, instead of focusing on each other, why not focus again on the family? Focus on the kids, because that's what you're supposed to do.
And that's why when I saw Christine and Robin actually getting along with McKelty's new twins, I was like, see, this is nice. See, like, there's no like extra awkwardness. And honestly, it just points out that whenever Cody's not around, they all can be normal. Even Robin doesn't have to act like, oh, I'm actually awkward around them. She walked in the room herself to talk to them. But when she was at that party with Cody, she just hung back and then talked to
I can almost guarantee that the production company forced that little interaction. But still, she did look less awkward than when she was with Cody.
I'm not saying that Robin isn't like blameless and everything. She's obviously again, a lot of issues. It's just it just is funny about when you remove Cody, there's a lot less drama.
Agreed. And most of them agree that they miss the old days when their Thanksgivings were huge. You know, the whole big family plus extended family and all that good stuff. And they showed clips of that. And I was like, oh, I miss those days too, because that was like, at least on the holidays, you can come together and be a cohesive family. Even if you have issues the rest of the year, you come together on the holidays because that's when you remember, hey, we're family. And sometimes you need that reminder to keep your family together another year. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I thought it was nice.
Not kick them out of your house and then tell them they can't come over for like 2 years.
Right.
Also, I just thought about this for the book. Do you think Cody helped with Thanksgiving dinner now that?
Oh, hell no.
So you think it was just Robin or the older girls?
Absolutely.
Those ones.
And again, did you see Dayton anywhere?
No, and I'm like, where did he go? Do you think he moved out?
I just really think he doesn't want to be on camera and doesn't want anything to do with the show because I think he's kind of with the other older kids of the mind that like the show kind of is what's fucking everything up because everybody can what they're saying about each other.
Right. See, like the girls seem to be pretty okay with just keeping with their parents and what they say, but I feel like Dana's the one who's probably on his phone looking at like being like, I am going to get absolutely wrecked if I show up on the show at school.
Well, I mean, I think he graduated a couple of years ago, I think.
How old is he now?
At least last year, because he's like 25.
Oh, I thought he was
24 or 25. But yeah, he graduated a year or two ago.
okay.
With a double major, I think. So.
Well, good. He doesn't need to be on screen with Cody with his job anyway. No one needs to be on screen with Cody anymore.
Yeah. So after the second commercial, we find out that poor Mary was sick in bed for Thanksgiving.
Aww.
And here's my thing. You just mentioned that Christine can be so kind and open when it comes to being there for the grandkids or whatever, and even being kind and open to Robin. But she is still petty, spiteful, and hateful towards Mary. She still is just like, yeah, I don't know where Mary lives. I don't know anything about Mary. I don't talk to Mary, and I never will. And it's just like, why? If you can get along with Robin, even if it's just for your kid and grandkids' sake, you know, have her there in the room with you waiting while she has the babies and then sleeping in the closet and get, you know, all that. I'm just saying, if you can go do all that, you can give a tiny bit of kindness to Mary.
I honestly think Mary's okay with it though. I think she's pretty okay with her not being included the rest of the family, considering how she's been treated by the rest of the family. And I think even now, even if Christine reached out, I don't think Mary would accept that. I think she's too much self-respect for herself, saying, "Yeah, thanks, I appreciate you actually accepting responsibility for how you treated me, but I have my life now. I'm not gonna."
Well, I don't think she has any interest in being like best buddies with her or Janelle. But I think that Christine's attitude towards Mary is why a lot of the older kids don't talk to Mary either. And that's wrong. Because Mary was just as much of a mom to those kids their entire lives as Janelle and Christine. And everybody conveniently wants to forget that, and that pisses me off.
It just feels like Mary was seen as the actual, like, no nonsense, I'm actually like authoritarian type of parent. Well, I'm not saying she was being mean, but I'm
But even if she was the authoritarian, somebody has to be.
right. Like, I don't know how Janelle or Christine, how they raise their kids, or if they're like more of a light touch, or if they're more like, what is it, gentle parenting? Like,
Yeah.
or like, and Mary was it's a no parenting. Yeah, we don't know how they grew up with or like how they parented, but they spent a lot of time together. You can't at least like check up on each other, like just to say like, hey, you alive? You doing okay? Great. I support you. Have a great life.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She's just being spiteful, petty, and kind of hateful. And everybody's like, oh, but Christine's so nice. And I'm like, but to everybody but one. She puts all of her miserableness on the one person, and that's not fair, in my opinion. So then we see, this is where it all gets, the rest of the episode gets interesting.
Well, Christina was the second wife, right? She was Mary
Third.
Third. Because I was thinking, like, well, maybe she blamed Mary for bringing her in, but if she brought Janelle first, like, wouldn't that have been Janelle that brought her in?
No, it was all Mary.
maybe that's why she has some like lingering resentment for that Mary is one who brought them into that relationship with Cody.
Who the hell knows? All I know is that she needs to get over it.
Again, psychology. We don't know what's going on. They don't need therapy.
I mean, she's so happy now and she's so over it all. Get over it and have some Christian kindness in your fucking heart, Christine. That's all I'm saying.
Or just kindness. You don't need to make it Christian. You
Whatever you want to say, I'm just saying.
be nice to people.
Oh, anyway. So we see that Robin and Cody got into an argument before the camera crew got there. So Cody went for a drive, and she's basically she's pissed that he's not reaching out more to his kids. And at this point, Cody is still blaming the kids for the rift with his relationship with Robin. So everything that happens is always someone else's fault. Christine left him and it's created the breach in the family, and then all the kids turned against him. So all that is Christine's fault. Now that, he can't get along with the kids, it's their fault. And now that he has issues with Robin, it's the kid's fault. It's never, ever, ever any of his responsibility.
I remember like at one point in the episode, he at that point he was like, I don't want to make a rift in my marriage because of these people. And I'm like, these people are your children, dude. You had a part in making every single one. You were involved in making every single one of them. What are you talking about?
It was your choice to have all these wives and make all these children.
And we find out that Robin has daddy issues because her.
Wait, you're skipping ahead.
No.
So it's snowing. This is, Arizona, and there's lots of snow on the ground. And it's obviously cold. But Robin bundles up and meets him outside. And again, why is there no filming in the house? I don't understand it. There is a nice warm home right there. If you're worried about having an argument in the same place and triggering yourself, go in a different room.
Or maybe they're trying to be nice about the kids aren't even there, so I can't even say the kids. The kids aren't home, they're at school.
And Robin says she's so worried about the kids, the older kids, and like their relationship and all that, the whole rift with Dad. And they say that the whole family was recently at Logan's wedding. That was the big family event that they were talking about. And says, quote, there was so much animosity from some of my family, and a couple of kids wouldn't even talk to him. And he's a little upset about that, a little teary-eyed, a little upset, but it doesn't seem to move him any. And he said that Madison took her kids away from where they were and never even told him she was pregnant. So I can see where as a parent that would be hard. But however, the choice is on you to fix that. Because Janelle said basically Maddie protects her kids, and he hasn't been there since Evie was born, and she was 3.5 at this point. And Maddie just wants him to be more stable in their lives and not just pop in and out once every year or two.
And that makes sense. Like, you're just confusing your kids. Like, why are you... Like, that's what happened when I went to my bio-father's house. Like, he introduced me to family members that even he didn't talk to for, like, years at a time. Like, I think I met his grandma once.
His grandma's dead.
I don't know. It was an way older lady who, like, she was, like, on the verge of literally being sent to hospice.
Oh, I don't know who it was.
And I don't ever remember meeting his dad, but he talked about him.
You knew him when you were little.
But again, like, having those type of family members around are just like, especially if they're supposed to be like a grandparent.
Right.
And people say like you don't need your grandparents around. Like, yeah, and that's why you don't keep introducing this grandparent who's gonna be again, Cody's a lot. So when he comes over wanting to play with the grandkids, he's gonna be touchy-feely, wanting to like play with them, and they're gonna be like,
in their face.
And they're gonna be like, who the frick is this guy?
Well, and here's the thing, as a mom, I know exactly what it's like to have grandparents only want to be like holiday grandparents. Those kind of things. To have grandkids to show off on their mental, but don't really want to be bothered kind of thing. And as the parent of that child, you get pissed. Because your kid deserves better. Your kid deserves a grandparent that wants to be around and wants to know them. And even if you live across the country, there is like video chats and all that kind of crap. And there are airplanes, and you know what I mean? Well, there are ways and means to be involved in your grandkid's life, even if you don't live next door.
And as the kid who grew up with unstable grandparents who weren't around,
I'm sorry.
it was again that just depends on the grandparent. Like your grandparents were around all the time; they helped raise you, and then but probably the reason why your grandparents were around was probably why because my grandparents, your parents weren't around. And
They
then
didn't raise me. I don't know. I expected them to be good grandparents. I don't know.
and Maddie understands. See, Maddie understands that, and she's I'm not gonna do that for my kids because you couldn't be a good parent.
Exactly. Cody again says that he doesn't talk to Maddie because she spreads gossip to the family. Like she said that he never loved Janelle, which Cody denies. Yeah, he says he only never really loved Christine and Mary, but that he came to love Christine over time, but he never loved Mary. And he says, quote, our family was killed by gossip. That's complete and total bullshit. It was killed by you and your obvious favoritism for the woman that you were in love with. And, you know, it's okay to be in love with them, but you cannot show favorites. You still have to be equal even when you want to be somewhere else. That's the whole fucking point of it, dude. You were not a big enough or good enough man to do your job, and your wives got pissed, and so it was all down to you. It was not fucking gossip.
No, you don't. He didn't love his kids enough to do that. You don't have. If you love your kids enough, you don't have to like the other parent to be a good person to the other parent. You are the perfect example of that. And it always seems like the parent that doesn't put that much effort in the wrong are always the ones that complain about the other parent. And we hear Christine talking about, Cody, but she's talking about what actually happened. And it's not gossip, it's stuff that happened.
So we saw happen, so we know she's telling the truth.
Like, wait, did you forget? Like, there is 19 seasons now. It's all online. You can't escape it. You agreed to have them video record your life. We see it.
Well, Janelle said that Cody is the biggest gossip, and he was always talking shit about Mary and Christine to her, but never Robin, of course. And um, Cody said he just wants to, quote, love the kids who allow it, and maybe the others will, quote, come back around. Um, the ones that aren't talking to you are the ones that need you.
Right.
They're the ones who feel let down, who feel lied to, feel manipulated, feel completely like their lives are a lie because you have said in recent years that their whole lives were a lie. And you never loved the moms that much. You may have come to love them or whatever, but you basically said that you never cared about their moms, and of course that's gonna piss off any kid. And you basically said that this whole story you've been telling us for at that point, like 15, 16 years, was bullshit. You called yourself out on your own bullshit.
And you proved that you played favorites all those years because you admitted that the only person you love is Robin. So of course you're spending more time at her house because you admitted that you didn't like the other wives. You said it yourself. You said you came to love Janelle, but did that stay? Because you said you loved Mary, but that didn't stay.
Yes, like what are we supposed? That's the thing. What are they supposed to believe? You need to sit down with the kids who are pissed off and angry, but all of them really, because even the ones that are talking to you are pissed off and angry. They just, are trying their best to get over it. The oldest ones are the ones who need you to sit down and explain yourself, because even the fans of us who have been rooting for all of you for years and years, you know, have no idea what the hell your issue is.
Although it seems like Mackelty and Tony were the only ones really talking to them, and that's over. So I'm not sure how that's going.
No, even Isabel talks to him after, he neglected her. And
that actually gets brought up later in the episode, which I was surprised about.
I was too.
I wasn't.
But now we're on to Robin and her daddy issues.
And I was like surprised. I don't like that she had like her her father was in her life, like her biological one. And she talks about how that really affected her, about how he just didn't care. Didn't put effort into it.
Well, yeah, when her parents divorced, her bio dad wasn't around, and when she confronted him about it when she was older, he made lame excuses about why he wasn't around. And that's something that I know you can relate to. The, oh, I had to work, I had to work, I had to sleep, I had to work, I had to sleep, I had to work on my truck, I had to work, I had to sleep. That was the only thing he ever talked about, ever, with you guys, with anybody. His work, his sleep, and his truck.
And the only time he ever took any time off or any special thing was if it was about Transformers or it involved his new wife, Betty Spaghetti. And Spaghetti does not mean for her weight or look or size.
Or her heritage. She's not Italian. Well, she could be. I don't know. But I'm just saying. It's just what I call her. Anyway, I mean, it's nicer of the nickname she gave us. Let's just say that.
She's a little ghetto.
But Robin said that she doesn't want Cody to be that guy. You know, the guy who makes lame excuses about why he wasn't around for his kids. And Cody says that he messaged one, and they wrote back, "You're a piece of trash, and I wouldn't have anything to do with you anyway." And that makes me wonder what he messaged, because I wouldn't have anything to do with you anyway. Like, is this a threat that Cody was making, that if you don't respond, then I'm done with you, kind of thing? Because that's when I would go, well, I don't want nothing to do with you anyway, kind of thing. So the verbiage that people use matters, and so that really that one there, I was just like, anyway.
But one thing I mentioned though is that when he gave out like examples to Robin as who he was actually talking to, he only mentioned the oldest sons.
Well, no, Logan's the oldest, but
like the older sons, like, you know, he mentioned Maddie, but that he didn't even know that she was pregnant.
Well, we all know that Maddie is the sassy one who's kind of semi-bitchy half the time. But that's just who she is. That's her attitude. That's her whatever. But we expect Maddie to be sassy.
But I'm just like, so you went through basically the top of the list of kids that you want to talk to more, and then decided to give up on the rest of them.
Well, of course he's going to keep going with his boys.
But again, he decided since they rejected him that he's not going to try with any of the rest of the 24 kids.
Well, there's 19 of them, and 5 of them live in his house, so that leaves 14.
Yeah, and he even said like he's not going to keep going through the rejections. Like, dude, you named like 3 kids.
Right, it's crazy. Robin says that he needs to keep trying, and Cody says he can't handle any type of rejection, so he's like, nah, I'm done. And he said, quote, "I haven't abandoned my kids. They've betrayed me.
Oh my God.
They can have me. They just can't treat me like crap to get me. They blame me for everything that happened. There's no respect." And then Robin said that she is losing respect for Cody, and he said, well, join the club, which I don't know what that means, because they never really got into that part. I don't know if they didn't like talk about it, or if she just let it go. Robin's very good at letting it go.
She knows that if she pushes against Cody, he just, again, and you see it when she actually is showing like trying to push against him, that he's getting upset. Even this is a pre-made conversation, like they planned out they're going to talk about. He was getting legitly upset and defensive about this, and you could tell like the whole like nutty Cody that I started the whole nutty Cody thing about that crazy look about he hates all his wives. He was getting that look in his eyes about like talking about these people, aka his children.
Yeah, yes. And Cody said, I don't have to sit down with them and defend you, because they blame her. He's like, they blame you too. And that kind of was like, she's like, well, then send them to me. Don't argue with them about me. You argue with them about you. I'll handle my relationship with them. You handle yours. So after the third commercial, it's really stupid. Christine's talking about dating David. They're already fucking married. TLC, you need to just fix your editor. And Janelle said she's tired of Cody's roller coaster ride, and she's happy being single. And she said that Robin is the one that started calling it Cody's roller coaster, and I think that's interesting. So, interesting, very well.
So Robin immediately picked on that Cody was,
Up and down a lot.
and she knew how to play that.
Oh yeah, she's not stupid. She understands the psychology and what drives these people better than we do. Um, so Cody said he thinks his kids are pissed at him simply because, quote, I didn't fall head over heels in love with their mothers. Um, he thinks that's the big deal, that he says he didn't love them. That was just recently that happened. This has been going on for 3 years
Right.
now.
It's because you are a liar, or like you're saying you're a liar. Again, 19 seasons. There's many seasons of you talking about how much you love your wives, how you love spending time with them, how you spend these anniversaries, all this time together, and then you say, I didn't mean any of it. Of course they're not going to believe you.
My note was, I think it's the dishonesty, the lack of self-knowledge, the discrepancies between the families, and the disrespectful ways that he treated everyone in his family is why they're pissed. That's my opinion. Cody admitted he spent a whole year basically pouting over the divorces. But when he gets over that, he'll give anyone attention who wants it. That's basically what he said, is it not?
Right? That's what he's literally said. Like, whenever I can work through it, I'll talk to whoever wants to talk to me.
He said he's been trying to communicate with Gabriel and Hunter, but he's, quote, received with total contempt and says he has a broken heart over all of it. Well, Robin said, you need, they need you in their life and you need them in yours. And Cody said that even if someone opened up to him, he's so angry that he's likely to lash out. Everything is so complicated, he can't make sense of it. And I'm just like, it's not fucking complicated. Stop living in denial because you get defensive and angry because you know it's getting close to the truth and you don't want it to be true. So you lash out and make everybody back away from that truth so that you can live in your finding out. And it's really, really, really time for you to grow up, get some therapy, and knock it off.
Well, also, Cody spent like many years of everyone catering around him. And now he's being asked to cater around everyone else.
Yeah, he has no idea how to give to other people.
Exactly. That's why he's so complicated, because now he has to figure out how to actually, care about other people.
It's ridiculous. Cody being a present dad is what made Robin fall in love with him. And so she keeps telling him, you need to fight for your kids. This isn't right.
I mean, before Robin, he was kind of, present on his kids because they all lived in one house, didn't they?
No, because when the kids were all really little, he traveled for work. He was only home on like maybe the weekends or every couple weeks. So he was not around and present. Now, he could be present when he was home because it was only for a couple days at a time. Anybody can be a super awesome parent for a couple days at a time. Well, they could if they cared. Let's just put it that way. But he did put in that time when he was home, and even though it wasn't much, at least it was quality time, and that's what mattered to everybody. And that's why the wives stayed happy all those years.
And then he chose obvious favoritism for Robin that started this isn't fair anymore.
Because it wasn't. So for the last commercial 4, Cody said he needs time and enough space to work it out without her losing respect for him. And I'm like, it's been a year. You just said it's been a year. So I think there's plenty of time to deal with all of your issues. And if not, you should have gotten some freaking help now. But he said, quote, I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit. And yes, you did.
I wonder if he feels like he spent so much time on the other wives because Robin came in last. So he did spend a lot more time with the other wives. So that's because you were married to them longer.
And she was a teenager when you first started getting married.
Yeah.
So she wasn't legally able to marry you first.
Right? But with his, selfish logic, it'd be like, well, I didn't get to spend all those years with her and her kids, so I'm going to spend a little bit more now to, catch up.
That could be in his twisted little mind. Who knows? But Cody admitted to 2 huge mistakes that he made during COVID. First, warning the boys to move out for not following his COVID rules, which is what started his downward spiral relationship with them.
Mhm.
And the second was not going to Isabel's surgery because he's gotten so much hate over that. And I'm sure he means from the fans more than from the family. But still, it was wrong. It was selfish. It was completely irresponsible as a parent.
And any sibling who's actually, close with Isabel was probably like, again, it was probably another straw onto theirs for.
I think that's what broke a lot of the older kids' back was the Isabel surgery because
She's one of the younger ones, isn't she?
she is, and she's also a daddy's girl, or was a daddy's girl.
So that would have killed.
Yeah, it was really bad because she was crying for him during surgery, and so they had to video chat him or something for her. And anyway, he said that he's still bitter, and would rather heal his relationship with Robin before worrying about the kids. He said, quote, I'm willing to make the effort, but I'm not going to reach out forever. And right before the show was over, Robin said, quote, they need him to try harder. He doesn't grasp how important a dad is to a child. And I don't think he does either because I think he had his dad around all the time, and his dad was kind of rough and hard on his boys, and there was a lot of physical punishment and a lot of hard chores if you misbehave kind of thing. So he wasn't, I don't think, as close to his dad either. Um, I don't know. I don't know why people who has such respect and idolation for their parents like he did for his dad don't understand how important he is to his own kids.
Right? It's like, again, it's a selfishness. It's important to me, but I don't care what's important to them.
It's just being completely and totally self-centered.
Like how apparently their loyalty is more important than him actually loving them.
Indeed. All right, any last thoughts before we go?
Cody's a nut.
That's your usual thought, but thank you. Okay, guys, just remember if you know anyone or you yourself are depressed or suicidal, there is help available. People are sitting there waiting for you just to reach out and ask for help. From your mobile phone, you can call 988 to get to the suicide hotline. People are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in English or Spanish. If you're not a talker, if you prefer to text, you can text from your phone pound 988 or hashtag or the number symbol, whichever way you know it, but pound 988 to call from or to text from your cell phone. Please reach out. We all know what it's like here in this house to be depressed and or suicidal or to try to kill yourself. And we can only be thankful that we did not succeed. We only did live because people cared. And you are not a waste of space. You are not unimportant. People do care about you. So please reach out today. Okay, guys, until next time, subscribe because it's free. Bye.